Hey, my name's Anthony.
My name's Alex.
And we are
The PTA Podcast. Sorry.
What's happening, everybody? Thanks again for tuning in for another episode of the PTA Podcast.
What's going on, people?
As always, don't forget, like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alrighty, Al.
All right,
That was a fiery last episode for those of you that listened to it. Let's delve deep into this one. This one is not as deep, so just rules off for me. We're going to talk a little bit about when an individual comes to us with some...
You know what I have to say about individuals?
With some kind of diagnosis of, some kind of diagnosis of, either high blood pressure or type 2 diabetes or any kind of, disease per se, how we deal with it.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about the two that we hear the most about, which is type 2 diabetes and
High blood pressure.
arthritis. Not so much high blood pressure, more arthritis. And people come to us already being diagnosed with these things and they're looking at us like, can you please help me? So before I talk about what I do and my approach, what I would recommend, I want to hear from you.
I was going to say, we deal with a lot of people that have, like, as they say, early onset of arthritis as well,
What's early onset? Have they been told by somebody or are they feeling the symptoms? Like, what do you mean?
No, they've just been told by their doctor that they have an early onset of arthritis.
Through like a bone scan or whatever?
Like, through like a scan or something like that.
Yeah.
They're obviously experiencing pain in certain areas, their joints and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
Mainly around like their wrists, their fingers,
That's
their
the
hands.
things they use the most, yeah.
You know what I mean? I actually noticed it a lot with a lot of people that have like desk jobs. And like they're always behind a computer and they're always, because I think their hands are like this.
It's more their wrist. They
You know
feel
what
like
I mean?
a lot of them have carpal tunnel or whatever it is.
But yeah, look, when it comes to people that have certain diseases like that or certain illnesses like that, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, it's not just like a very simple approach in the sense of, okay, sweet as you got type 2 diabetes, so this is what we're doing. There's a lot of different factors that come into it. And I guess it comes down to where they're at with their illness that they actually have itself. If it's someone that's fairly new to having type 2 diabetes, or if it's someone that's had type 2 diabetes for 20 years, right? There has to be a different approach, especially based on what they're currently doing with their lifestyle. You know what I mean? I know, for example, someone really close to me that has type 2 diabetes and also, smokes half a deck of cigarettes a day and, drinks 5 cups of coffee a day and, barely moves off the couch and, sleeps during the day because he works at night. And like the approach I would need to give him is very different to the approach of someone that has type 2 diabetes, but, walks an hour a day and tries their hardest to get into the gym and strength train, or is, working at bettering their nutrition, but has obviously come to us because they're kind of stuck and don't know where to go and how to, better their life with the illness that they currently have. So it's like, ultimately, they both got type 2 diabetes, but they're both living two different lives.
Do you believe you need medication?
For type 2 diabetes?
Yeah.
No. I feel like we've proven that you can fix type 2 diabetes just through lifestyle intervention.
Yeah.
Through training, through nutrition, through, bringing down chronic inflammation, through managing their blood sugar levels. Like, we can get rid of it. Type 1 is very different for people that don't know the difference or haven't heard of the difference. I don't know. Type 1, obviously, you're born with it.
No, you're not born with it. There's some people that develop it later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought type 1, you were just born with it.
You can develop it later.
Oh, there you go.
But it's very different to type 2.
Yeah, I know it is very different. But yeah, so from my experience, when it comes to certain illnesses, even outside of type 2 diabetes and arthritis, just any kind of illness and sickness, it ultimately comes down to what that person is doing at that current point of time within their lifestyle when they do come to us, right? And that's because that will obviously determine what plan we put in place for them as well. If someone's got arthritis and I don't know, they're 60 years old and they've never ever touched a weight in their life and they've never exercised in their life and they're suffering from chronic inflammation and everything else in between. Like, it's going to be a very different program and plan that we put together, again, to someone that has arthritis but has undergone some form of training, or is exercising, or is eating better and doing everything else that they can to ease or improve their pain management. That comes to us, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just the first thing I would do is see where they're at, and then from there kind of gather as much data as possible as to before they found out they had the issue, and then post finding out they have the issue and what they've done, get all that data, see what they're doing. I would personally, and I know you would agree with me as well, get a few blood tests done as well to see internally what's going on, specifically around things like inflammation markers, blood sugar levels, blood pressure, all that type of stuff as well, because that can tell us a really big picture. And then take it from there based on the results.
Yeah,
but
look, most people think that type 2 diabetes is a blood sugar thing, right? It's like that's one little part.
Yeah.
Right. Prior to somebody getting type 2 diabetes, they end up getting told that they're insulin resistant. And when you're insulin resistant, the problem, unfortunately, is most people misunderstand it. All right? And the reason why they misunderstand it is because of the information that's put out there. Most doctors, GPs will just give metformin.
Oh, bro, I know too many people that are on
to
metformin.
deal with that, right? Or Ozempic or Mounjaro or whatever the other one is now. It's just some weird name.
Starts with a W.
Yeah.
Widigo, something like that.
Yeah, and that's the GLP-1s or GLP-2s or whatever, as a way to fix that, and it's not, because it's not just insulin resistance, for example. It's not just a blood sugar problem, right? It's literally like, and I'm reading some of my notes that I have. As we know, it's insulin is a hormone that tells your cells to absorb sugar or glucose from your blood. And when the cells stop responding properly, the pancreas just keeps pumping out more and more and more insulin to compensate.
Yeah.
Right. And over time, the overflow of insulin disrupts nearly every system in the body, not just your blood sugar. So when we term it as, this is more to do with an inflammation systemic problem, we start to go, okay, maybe it's not just, hey, stop eating carbs. That's like one little piece of the puzzle, right? Because when insulin is chronically really high, it affects your brain, your hormones, your cardiovascular health, your liver, your gut health, and your immune system. So many people that have type 2 diabetes, if they don't check it soon or over time, if they have it and they just either leave it or they don't manage it properly, then I'm having to, they end up developing things like gangrene. So I might have to cut limbs off, right? They could potentially have heart attacks, right? And it's not because of their cholesterol. And some people aren't even that overweight, but they develop gangrene because of so much damage that insulin's causing on the entire system. All right, too much of anything in the body isn't good. There are some blood tests that you can read that can read as normal, while this is already making some kind of progress. And the problem with that is you need to really understand that you need to get your fasting glucose done. Things like your 3 months average blood sugar, which is your HbA1c, right? That's what comes up on your blood test. Your triglycerides to your HDL ratio. Most people don't look at it like that. Just look at triglycerides and HDL, right? And then I also look at if you are able to track your glucose levels after you eat, track them after you eat as well, because that will show a real-time response to how much your blood sugar spikes after you eat. Now, obviously, a lot of what you eat plays a role, but you also need to look at things like your fasting insulin as well. Now, most GPs don't look at that.
Yeah.
Most of them don't. And if they do, probably the interpretation is quite wrong, right? One of the biggest things that most people misunderstand is that muscle building is literally your primary defense against insulin resistance. And until you understand that, until you implement at least 3 sessions of weight training per week, you're not going to fix it. When we look at things like arthritis is another chronic inflammation problem. And the thing with arthritis that I've seen with most people is that it's a combination of things like poor bone density and muscle loss. And the poor bone density is due to the muscle loss. Building a muscle will improve your bone density, but you must couple that with some kind of anti-inflammation protocol, so to speak. That's what I love what Zinzino does. And the amount of people that are on Zinzino that were suffering from the symptoms of arthritis or with the diagnosis of arthritis and were in a lot of pain, whether it be rheumatoid or the other type of arthritis, I can't remember off the top of my head. Osteoarthritis, that's right, yeah. Symptoms have significantly improved.
Yeah, we've seen it
because
in
they've stayed consistent. However, it wasn't one thing that caused it. So one thing's not going to just fix it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they also need to remember that just because they might be taking a really good polyphenol-rich omega-3, which is designed to make you less inflammatory within your system, it is not going to be the only thing that you need to rely on. You can't just keep doing everything poorly and then have that and think it's going to fix all the poor things you're doing. You can never out-supplement a poor lifestyle.
No way.
So from a diagnosis perspective, you've got this. Is that your life forever? Only if you want it to be. Can you change it? Yes. Can you fix it? Yes. It's going to take time though. Yeah. When we look at any kind of chronic inflammation symptom, whether it be arthritis or whether it be type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, those things weren't caused overnight or didn't happen overnight, I should say, and therefore the approach you're going to take is going to take a bit of time. But is it worth it? Hell yeah. Can you reverse it? Hell yeah. Can you actually resolve it? Yes, you can. I've seen it. I've done it. It's great. It's great to see somebody's quality of life improve and faith in their ability to be able to have a happy and healthy life significantly improve.
100%.
Do you get what I mean? So a lot of these things we need to remember are quite important for most people to understand. Like the lifestyle habits are so much more important for your health and well-being than you think they are. The lifestyle habits play such a bigger role than just simply worrying about trying to lose a bit of body fat. All right, yes, fat loss is always the goal for most people that come to us. But I know that once they're doing all these things, that their quality of life is going to significantly improve on top of their fat loss goals. So I'm quite passionate about this stuff because I talk about it frequently. I run workshops on this stuff frequently. I talk openly about it to anybody that will listen to me. And I do that because I want to help. I do that because I know what can happen if you don't change anything. All right, there's a young girl right now that I'm training and I'm really working hard with her. She's been diagnosed with PCOS, has been told to get on the pill and metformin because you got insulin resistance and that's what's causing your PCOS.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and then she's like, Anthony, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I don't know what to do. And then she saw another GP who's apparently really good. And I know this GP and I can't stand her. And the reason why I can't stand her is because her information is just so bad. Right? This young girl's got high test levels. And she said the only way for you to get your test levels down is by taking the pill. Right? And then this girl's on the pill. She's on metformin. She's like, Anthony, I don't know what to do.
People wonder why we swear on this podcast.
I don't want to be on this forever, but I don't know what to do. I'm nervous. I said, look, I'm not going to fight with you. I've given you my opinion. I've told you the facts. I said, you're following the meal plan I sent you? Yep. Are you training 2 or 3 times a week with weights? Yep. Are you taking your supplements that I've recommended you to take? Yep. Okay. So you're doing some stuff well. The other stuff, when you decide to stop it, don't freak out with the bounce back that comes your way. I said, but I'm warning you, the longer you're on it, the harder the bounce back is going to be.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But the advice is quite poor around this kind of stuff. And PCOS, the actual name of it is no longer PCOS. It's some other name, but I can't remember the exact name. But it's the reason why they changed the name is because they've finally understood that it is not an ovaries problem. It's a systemic chronic inflammation problem. And it's in the name of it, the new name of it highlights that, which therefore means if the new name changes and it highlights what actually causes it, doesn't it mean that the approach now needs to change? Yeah? What are they doing?
The same approach.
And the reason why is because they haven't kept up with the knowledge.
No way. Well, obviously they're still calling it PCOS.
The problem is this, like, this was well documented around the world. Really well documented. Right? Why don't they know about it? But now the treatment of this young girl, tried to help her. She wouldn't listen. She listened to half what I told her. She wanted a quick fix, wanted to change it quickly. People in her ear. They listen to him. What does he know? I'm just like, okay, listen to your family who know nothing about health. Have never helped anybody with this before. Right? I don't even understand any of this terminology because the GP said take the pill and take metformin. Have to. You must. It's the only way to fix it. No, it's not.
No, it's a band-aid pretty much.
But you're not actually fixing anything. Yeah, it's a band-aid approach.
You're just like, you're putting a net over the issue and letting the issue build up, but the net is just stopping you from feeling the issue. The moment you remove that net, and I've witnessed it with my wife firsthand. She was on the pill for 10 years because they drilled that into her head before she met me and obviously met you. She was on pill for 10 years, and when she got off, the bounce back effect was messed up. Like, I'm talking like it wasn't just physical.
My wife was only on the pill for 12 months. Right, 12 months. And I fought with her to get off it. She finally got off it when we started trying. And then it took another 2 years for things to get back to normal. But then in that process, she was diagnosed with autoimmune disease.
Yeah, Hashimoto's.
A thyroid condition named Hashimoto's disease, or called Hashimoto's disease. Yeah. Where were those GPs then?
Yeah.
Where were they then?
Same as my wife.
Right. All they said to her was take thyroxine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. What's this healthy stuff you're doing? It's not going to do anything. Okay. Where are you now? Where are you now? Right. And I'm not having a go at GPs, but I get annoyed.
No, I'm gonna have a go at GPs because you have a duty of care.
They do, yeah. Look,
you got a duty of care, and that part of that duty of care is educating yourself to care for the people that your qualification tells you to do. So you do.
I don't think the qualification does, mate, because they spend more time studying medical science, whatever they're doing, in illness, right? They spend 30 minutes on nutrition and maybe half of that on menopause.
But they take an oath. In medical school, when they finish their doctrine to become a doctor, they take an oath. And the oath is pretty much about caring for people.
Yeah, but...
So you do have a duty, a moral duty of care.
They do have a moral duty of care, but the definition of healthcare, right?
Yeah, I know that. But
it's not actually... I don't believe that... I think maybe 30% of the population thinks that healthcare is what we think it is.
Yeah.
The other 70 don't. The other 70 thinks that putting a whole bunch of injections in somebody that don't need them is healthcare. Right? That to me is alarm bells. Right? You put like the vitamin K shot on a newborn really irritates me. And the reason why it irritates me is because there's no science to support that. It's a money-making opportunity for pharmaceutical companies. And the reason for that is because if you look at what's in the mother's breast milk, especially colostrum, you know what's in there? In a very high amount?
Vitamin K.
Vitamin K. For that baby. Why did you need to give them a vitamin K shot? Why? Because they don't have it in their system. They've been out of their mother's womb for less than a day. They're getting everything that they need from that breast milk. Don't touch them. You don't need to touch them. Put them on their mother's boob, shut up and get out of the room. That's what you need to do. But you get your eyes rolled at. What do you know? What do you know? We're the professionals here. So you get made to feel guilty. You get made to feel like maybe you're putting your kid in danger. Right? How come, and I'm going to throw this out there, I don't care if it ruffles feathers, I wanted to. How come 30 to 40 years ago, the rates of autism were 1 in 1,000 maybe? How come now they're 1 in 10?
That's another conspiracy theory
that
we can go down.
No, there's no conspiracy theory. Do you want to know why? Because I've heard doctors and I've heard people that are so for all these injections, right? And so for all these things. I've heard them go on about it, right? Do you know how many of these ingredients are in these things?
Oh, bro, don't get me started.
How many of them? Okay, there's that many ingredients. How many of those ingredients have they studied?
No.
One. No, I'm telling you, and I've seen the papers for Alex. One. So they want to sit there with this straight face and tell everybody, you must. And if you don't, you're a neglectful parent. But they've studied one ingredient out of the 30 or 40 that are in these things. How can they say that with such a straight face? How? Do you know what I'm trying to say? But then you can't send your kid to school. You can't send your kid to daycare. You got to pay extra. So there's coercion now. But aren't you designed to... Isn't this about just the health of the baby?
If you need a fake medical certificate, let me know, brother.
Isn't this about health of the baby? Isn't this about health? Isn't this about trying to make us a healthier society? Why is there coercion, just like the COVID vaccines, why is there coercion when this thing was designed to help us, right? Don't tell me that there's not a direct correlation between 1 in 1,000 and 1 in 100 kids with autism and the amount of extra ingredients and extra injections that have been introduced from 30 years ago to today. Do not tell me there's no
Have you
correlation.
seen how many injections they need to take in America?
It's a joke. America's the worst in the world.
Gosh, it is freaking
America's
ridiculous.
But when you sit there and you say, I want to follow my health minister, every other country's health minister is obese, except for America's new one. Every single country's health minister is obese and I want to give health advice. And when I mean obese, I'm not talking like a little bit overweight or chubby. I'm talking like 5 chins, bro.
Have you seen Australia's health minister?
Even worse.
I want to jab her.
Looks like a degenerate, man. Right? And the problem with that, Alex, is this. This is not health advice. The reason why disease is so rampant in this world is because we have gone so far from what is actually healthy. Do you know what's healthy? You know, there's a word called heal in the word healthy, right? Nothing that we're doing is allowing the body to heal.
It's stopping her from healing.
It's actually stopping it. We think that we're smart by giving ourselves medication and injections and things that do the job for our body. Our body is so much smarter than that. We don't need to give it stuff to do its job. We need to support it. We need to support it and look after it so it can function properly. It's that simple. In the book of Psalms, I can't remember exactly what part of the book, but I'm paraphrasing a lot here when I recite the passage. But it's something along the lines of God gave man herbs for man to heal. Like everything we have is here in the land. What are we doing for money? We're destroying the land that we need to survive and flourish. It's that easy. It's that simple. But we think it's just not smart enough. We have companies that put profits over people, and we see it all the time in every industry, right? Our last episode, the AI, those what are they? Those towers? How much water the databases. All the database. How much water they consume? What are we going to do? What's that going to do to the world that we need? We need water. The world needs water, but we're so fixated on trying to make things what we feel is better. But the byproduct is destroying things that we actually need for survival. Do you get what I mean? The world was fine without AI. It's not going to be fine without any water. Right? The world was fine, so fine, before these injections. Right? It's not fine now with all the introduction of these things.
Sad, bro.
Does that make sense? The world was fine before grain-fed stuff, before genetically modified foods. The world was healthier. It's not healthier now.
Yeah, that's only getting worse.
The world was fine before pesticides. It's not fine before that now.
Yep.
Right? And this is why these companies put profits over people.
Yep.
Right? They're trying to sit there, and I heard this thing a couple of days ago, and I was so I was just shocked at what I was listening to. And I pray it doesn't happen, but they're going to start killing brumbies, which is like wild horses. Right? And the reason why they're going to kill them is because they think that these horses are causing problems for the environment.
What?
So the answer is to kill the horses off, not take ownership for the destruction of the environment that Big Pharma and all these big corporations are the ones actually causing.
How is an animal?
But killing an animal that's native to the land is the reason why the land is being destroyed. Yes,
it doesn't make sense.
100%, yeah. 100%
There is
right.
no logic in that whatsoever.
And I read it, I was listening to it, I was like, how is this even a thing? Not one part of it makes any sense. So I'm going to kill my dog because he shot on my grass and he destroyed my grass? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Do you get, like, it's this, but this is the world that we live in. And you question, who are you? You're a conspiracy theorist. You know, now that term is no longer offensive.
No, it's not.
Like,
People love it.
You know why though? You know why it's no longer offensive? Because all the conspiracies
End up being
are starting
right.
to be true now.
Yeah.
People that shut up for such a long time are starting to talk now.
Yeah.
Because they're fed up with being quiet.
Yeah.
And I am one of them. Very openly.
Yeah. That's what I like.
About things that I'm passionate about. But things that I've spent a lot of time being quiet about that I know is causing damage and harm to people, I'm no longer going to be quiet about it.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you disagree, you know what the funny thing is, Alex, with me, people might perceive differently. And I hope that they don't. If you disagree with me, let's have a good discussion. Like, I mean, an honest, just harmless, good discussion. Right? Give me your facts. I'll give you my facts. we can agree to disagree. We can shake hands and move on, right? Call me a name, make an assumption about me, right? Then that's when the argument starts. This is what the big problem is with people. Can never ever have a discussion where two people can disagree respectfully.
Yeah, 100%.
Can never. I personally have never seen it. I can't even have a discussion with my dad and disagree and keep it respectful. Do you get what I mean? Right? And the problem is, it's like everyone's like self-worth and value hangs on them trying to be right. And they can't let go of being wrong. Big Pharma is wrong in every sense, morally, ethically, and with all the data that they're bringing out there. And the last thing I'm going to add to that is there is a place, very small place in my opinion for medication, very, very, very small, right? There's a place. It's called Panadol and Nurofen. To me, that's all we need, nothing more. Right? Do you know what happens when you get why you get a fever? It's your body's acute inflammation response to the infection it's trying to fight. You don't need to go and get antibiotics to cure the fever. You don't need to do that. The reason why our bodies heat up and why we have a fever is because our body's fighting what's inside of us. Just give us support with hydration, the herbs that you laugh at, which actually work, good nutrition, and guess what? Within a couple of days, maybe a week at most, the individual's better. And you know what the best part is? Their immune system's actually stronger. So the likelihood of them getting sick again is less. Right? But you give them antibiotics, what do you do to their entire immune system?
Kill it.
It's all the bacteria in
All
the
their
system,
good
good
gut
and
bacteria.
bad. You wipe everything back out. They get off the antibiotics, what happens next time? Someone coughs near them, what happens? Sick.
Boom, sick.
The kid's got a daycare, sick. Why do you think, and I praise God for this, why do you think my son's not a sick kid? He goes to daycare twice a week. Why? Because I will literally fight with everybody tooth and nail to not put any single piece of antibiotic near him. He takes one thing, mate. That's his balance oil from Zinzino every morning. Yeah, he eats well. We have minimal food around the house that's processed. We eliminate as much junk food as we can out of his day. I can't avoid it because people around him might give him some stuff.
Nah, but I'll punch on.
No, but we eliminate it as hard as we can, right? And he'll have it 5% of the time. Whereas I said, a lot of other kids his age will have it 95% of the time.
Yeah.
And they get sick all the time. And this isn't me trying to gloat, but this is like, hello, like this.
Nah, it's just.
There's a saying,
fun.
success leaves clues.
I met a guy, I was at Gold Coast for an expo.
Yeah.
And I met a guy who literally does the exact same thing that you said. And his kids are now 14 and 10. And he goes to me, bro, when I tell you that I will punch on with any single person that puts or dangles processed sugar, he was like to me, bro, I will punch on with any single person that dangles any bit of processed sugar in front of my kid's face. From the moment my kids were born to this very moment, me and their mother have made sure that all they do is eat grass-fed meat. They have their vegetables, they have their fruits, they stay away from processed food. They've been active since they were born. They hydrate well. They take a polyphenol omega-3. I don't know which one it was that he said. And yeah, he just does everything by the book that their body is designed to do.
Look,
from day one.
It is quite hard in this day and age to stay consistent with that. Like I have arguments with some family about, like they'll give him a spoon of cake and he'll want more. And they'll go, I'll give him more. I said, no, stop, enough. Why? Like they're offended. I'm like, no more. But why? Give him some. It's slack. No, it's not slack. Stop. Like I don't want to have to get rude or knock you, but I will.
But what
stop.
What I don't understand is that people, the facts are so well publicized about how bad sugar is for the human body in general, let alone.
It's okay. Just keep going, guys. Sorry, there's testing today out of all days.
Let alone a 2 to 3 year old kid, right? Where their body isn't even at that stage that it can process that stuff properly, right? And so my thing is that I lost my train of thought because of all these fire alarms. What was I saying?
You're talking about the fact that we're just going to support the human body.
Yeah.
All this food.
There's so much information out there at how processed sugar is so much more addictive than cocaine, right?
Well, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but that kind of stuff, Alex, there's more links to high blood sugar in somebody's body that's linked to heart attacks than there is high cholesterol.
100%. And so what I'm trying to say is that, so then you putting that stuff into a child's body, right? Our bodies are a lot stronger as adults, right? But you're putting it into a child's body who's technically 2-3 years old.
Yeah, you know the saying, it's not right. And I get what you're so right, bro. There's a saying, leave them, they were kids. It's like,
Exactly, but that's the whole point. They're a kid.
And my favorite, they're just gonna burn it off anyway. It's like, what? You don't burn off poison, bro.
They're a kid, which means that their immune system, their nervous system is still growing. Their body doesn't know yet or understand yet how to process these toxins.
They won't get scared of giving them lollies and a whole bunch of processed stuff that's not good, right? That's been linked to cancer, especially processed meats, right? But they get scared to give them grass-fed meat. Like, no, it's too much. Don't give them too much of that.
I'm still hearing now people say to me, oh, I thought you're not allowed to have too much red meat during the week. I'm like, bro.
But
we're 4 years away from 2030 and you still think that. Like, 2030.
You know what makes
Brother, when it was 2012, I thought 2030 was 100 years away. It's 2030 and people still think that you can't have red meat more than once a week. I'm like, brother, what world am I living in?
It's quite sad, eh? And the reason why it's sad is because our population has been kind of really pushed to focus so hard on surviving. So when you're focused so hard on just survival, what are you trying to do? Just get through. So sometimes you're like, whatever, I'll get the Maccas. It's quick, it's easy. Can't bother cooking. I'll just get a family feast. Or Uber Eats, right? Have you seen the videos, by the way, of how they make like seed oils?
Oh, it's disgusting.
It's not even like, it is the ugliest thing.
It looks like vomit.
When I watched the video of the way they're doing it with the machines, I was looking at it and I was like, what is that? Is that engine? Like, is that something for a car? Or is that, what are they building? They're making oil. Not one piece of actual oil from anywhere remotely natural is in it. Yeah. It's just chemical on chemical on chemical on chemical on chemical.
It's the same thing.
And then we're like, just use that. It's easier. It's cheaper. It tastes nicer. It's like, what?
Can I say something to you? You've seen the video. You've seen the video on how chicken nuggets are made, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And I'm not talking about Macca's chicken. That's just chicken nuggets in general.
In general.
Right.
I don't let Arthur touch them.
Do you know how many times when we go to like restaurants or whatnot and I see kids having from the kids menu chicken nugget and chips? And I'm like, parents, man, like, bro, you can't sit here and tell me that you don't know.
A lot of them actually don't know. Sorry, a lot of them are very, very misinformed or just not informed at all. Right?
And I'm like, you know what? I look at these children, I'm like, I feel so sorry for your gut right now.
Habib, we're fortunate enough, and this is why we do podcasts, why we speak so openly and we're so loud about this stuff, because we would love just to help one person make a better decision. Like, if people listen to our podcast and go, these guys just love to tell people off, we don't understand us at all. Right? We're passionate, yes. Part of that aggressiveness is coming from our Arab background. But we're not actually angry at people. We're just passionate. And the reason for that is because we've seen the worst of the worst.
Well, that's it. Exactly right.
And when I mean the worst of the worst, I mean the ugly C word.
Yeah.
Right? With people who are otherwise what we termed as healthy.
Yeah, man.
But they were misguided, misinformed, and they paid the ultimate cost for it.
Yep.
All right? And they weren't old either. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. They weren't old either. So, when do we change? When do we change? Do we just leave it because it's easier to leave it? Or do we get vocal about it and say something?
And you know, my biggest gripe is that information and education is so accessible now. Like, brother, let's talk about AI. ChatGPT. I've put into ChatGPT, right? Is grass-fed and grain-fed meat linked to cancer, or is it processed meat? And it literally says grass-fed and grain-fed has no links or studies that link it to cancer whatsoever, right? There is no stat out there that shows that grass or grain-fed meat is linked to cancer. All those studies are based off processed cold meats.
And the thing with processed cold meats,
that are carcinogenic.
But have you seen what processed cold meats are made of? Not one part of it even.
That's what I mean.
Like, if you're talking about ham, you think that ham that you're getting from the coals and wood is coming from the pig. It's not.
So my point exactly. Information is so accessible. I do not take the excuse from any parent that says I didn't know anymore. Now.
Well, as soon as you become a parent,
because, and I'll tell you why.
You
Because
need to know.
I'll tell you why. Because they will jump on ChatGPT and say, and I've seen it again with my own eyes. I don't say shit for the sake of saying it. I say what I've seen. I've seen mothers on ChatGPT. What shop has the best sale for jeans at the moment? So you're telling me that you can't punch into the same ChatGPT where you're trying to find a sale for jeans, what is healthy for my child?
It's true. Priorities, mate. Priorities.
Like,
priorities. Look, it's unfortunate that we live in a world like this, but this is why, and I'm just going to plug this as well, we're starting a kids sports development program.
Yes, we are.
Because a large component of this is nutritional education, which I believe is a missing link to what kids need. But it's also more for the parents to zip their mouths and listen
and actually
about
get
what
education.
actually matters with the kids' health and well-being from a nutritional standpoint.
Don't get me wrong. I want to just say this as well. I totally get that there are a lot of parents that aren't educated on this stuff, and you know, some could say, you know, I've never been told this stuff or put in a position to educate. Right?
What are we saying? Don't feed your kids Maccas. Give them a piece of chicken instead.
So my thing is that stuff like this is an opportunity for you to educate yourselves because of one thing and one thing only. The moment you chose to be a parent, you have a role and responsibility to give your child the best care that you possibly can. So take these opportunities, educate yourselves amongst people like us or anyone else that's offering the education to you on how to simply just improve the health of your child through exercise and nutrition. You ultimately control what they eat at home. You have that control, right? Because you're cooking for them. Right, so 100%. Is it a matter of not being lazy and actually cooking something decent? Is it a matter of, and I hear this from parents, I've got to cook 4 different things. No, you've chosen to do that.
Exactly.
You've chosen to do that.
You get what you get and you don't
get
upset.
Brother, I remember to this day, our parents were always like, if you don't want to eat what's on the table, go to bed starving. Couldn't care.
Habib, there was one time, and one of the other things that we used to get told, whatever you put in your plate, finish it. We don't waste.
Exactly right.
I put a bit too much food in my plate because my eyes were hungry.
And you had to finish it.
It got cold. I was full and I had to finish it. Yeah. And our grandmother did not let me leave the table. And
it's not slack. It's not anything. It's called respect and discipline. Right? So, like you said, the kids development program that we're running, I reckon it was one of the best ideas that you came up with when you approached me with this idea. Say, Al, I want to start this. This is when it's going to start. This is how it's going to run. I was like, you know what, bro? That's mad, because I hear so many parents of their kids actually being so athletically great and gifted. And we know a few of them, right? Remember Nick that's playing in Greece at the moment that we did his strength and conditioning for before he went over full time? He's one of them, right? And his mum trusted us with everything that we did with him, and look where he ended up. You know what I mean? So give your kids this opportunity to really hone in on the talent that God's blessed them with, right? And then educate yourselves as well. So then not only might you take something away to improve the health of your children, but you may improve your own health as well.
Well, the goal is to help the kids building their confidence, obviously their athletic performance, because it's geared at kids that are already playing sports, so they take it seriously. But also, it's designed to create a healthier home. Like from a nutritional standpoint, lifestyle standpoint, it's designed to create a healthier home, which means that everyone gets better.
100%.
Alrighty, team, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget, like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify.
Appreciate it, people.